figured I would make this video for some of you guys that, you know, are into the F-150s. This is mainly a Fox Body channel, so if you guys are tuning in for the first time, we don't typically do F-150 stuff. You know, in the past we've done some Lightning things, and by the way guys, this is it. The Lightning is leaving tomorrow, so she's gonna be missed. I tell you what, I love this thing, but she is off to a new home in Arizona, so the new owner is really excited. I know he's gonna take care of this thing, so I'm excited for that. I hope he enjoys it. So Tony, enjoyed the truck. I hope it serves you for many, many years to come. So with all that being said, let's talk about the F-150. So what is this? This is a 2016 F-150 four-wheel drive FX4 Lariat. It really doesn't matter. They're pretty much all the same. What I want to talk about today is basically a 2.5-inch leveling kit with these tires. Now, I chose to go with a metric tire simply because they're a little more narrow. So what I went with was a 295/65, and this is the Hankook Dynapro MT2. It's a really nice tire. I love this thing. So it's kind of a hybrid tire. It's very, very quiet on the road. So if you guys are interested in the Hankook tire, I say go for it. I think it's somewhere around like 250 or so, 259 a tire, something like that. But as you can see, it really doesn't bulge a lot. Sits pretty flush, and we have zero rubbing. Okay, zero rubbing. As you can see, the crash bar is still in this thing. It's not rubbed one time, and I'll get in here in just a second and turn this thing full lock for you so that you can see. This is what I want to cover that I didn't really see anybody else cover before. If you have an F-150 with the tow package, so with the extra towing package, it's going to be really high in the back versus just a regular four-wheel drive. If that's the case, you're going to need the 2.5 to level this thing out. Now, if you just have the standard four-wheel drive, probably the 2-inch is going to level you, or 2.25 is going to level you pretty good. But if you want this thing to sit nice and level, I'll step back for you so that you can see it. The 2.5 is going to work out really good. One thing to remember, the wider you go on your tire, the more it's going to stick out. Now, as this thing sticks out, it has to really swing, okay? You're creating a lot more swing with your front tire, and because of that, you're not gonna have a lot of room up in here. You already don't have a lot of room as it is. This crash bar could be trimmed or could be cut or whatever you wanna do here to give yourself a little bit more room. Sure, we'll go off-road if we need to, but for the most part, it's just gonna be back and forth to work, hauling the camper, hauling the car, stuff like that. The main reason I wanted to go with 35s and this type setup is just because it looks good. Now let's just be honest, a lot of you guys are gonna feel the same way. So how did going from basically a 32-inch tire to a 35 affect the power of this truck? Honestly, I couldn't tell a difference. And that's me being completely honest and straight up with you guys. I couldn't really tell a difference. Now, I pretty much leave this thing in sport mode. You can debate whether that's a good thing or not. I personally like it, especially with the taller tires, because what it does is it generally keeps you in a lower gear, which is better on the transmission and the drivetrain if you're going to have a taller tire. What does a taller tire do? It gives you a taller gear ratio. What does a taller gear ratio do? It puts more load on your engine and transmission. Now that is not debatable. You don't hear a lot of people talking about that, but the higher you go on your gear ratio, meaning like a 355 versus a 410. A 355 is going to be a taller gear than a 410 is. Now that's going to put a lot of load on your transmission to get this thing moving and to get it pulling. So the way to combat that, leave it in sport mode, and it usually keeps it down a gear or so over normal, meaning over your normal driving modes. Now of course, if you're pulling, you want to go ahead and put this thing in tow haul mode, but no issues. I think your speedometer is going to be off about 3 miles an hour or so. Now a 33/12/50 would look really good on this thing, or like a 285/65 would look really good as well. A 305/55. There's a lot of different things that you can do as far as tire sizes go. You can go metric, you can go standard, it doesn't really matter. But the main reason for this video is to show you guys exactly what a 2.5-inch level kit looks like with 35s. And this is a 35-inch tall tire. This is a 35.1 tall tire, and the truck is pretty much perfectly level. It depends on how it's sitting on the concrete a lot of times. I tell you what, let's go ahead and turn the wheel on it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, that's full lock. And there again, guys, no trimming, nothing like that. This thing does not rub in reverse. It doesn't rub in forward. It doesn't rub full lock. Now, it is close, and you're not going to be out there doing all types of off-road stuff and jumping this thing. I mean, there's not enough room for that. Let's be honest, if you're not putting something like a 6-inch lift on these trucks, it's just for looks anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Let me turn this thing a little bit less here. As you can see, it's close. Very close back there in the back. But let's just be honest, if you're not going to be off-road, you're not going to be doing crazy stuff, you probably will never need to trim anything on this. And that's up to you guys if you want to take your crash bar off. I chose to leave my valence down here. I just wanted to leave it pretty much stock as it could be, just basically with tires. Now, I did have to get my front end lined up, and that's something that you guys are going to have to do if you do like any leveling kit in the front. Ooh, let's see, I got one more tip for you guys if I can find it. I'm going to show you something real quick like that you can do to touch up your front grille. And that's going to be this trim black charcoal metallic. Now, this is something that I pretty much keep around the house. For those of you that watch the channel, you know I love this SEM trim black. Now, don't be confused. It is charcoal metallic. If you don't have a Lariat, if you have the sport package and your grille was already great, these things are notorious for chipping up on you and looking like crap. So that's a quick little tip for you guys. Maybe your grille's all chipped up, messed up. That's something you can do real quick. Like also up here, I'm going to show you a quick tip. Up here, see how all this plastic fades? It's real common on these trucks. This stuff right here, Stoner Car Care Trim Shine, is awesome stuff. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera. Watch this. Now, the good thing about this is you can wipe it right off the paint, and I'll go ahead and show you that now. All right, let's say, oops, we get a little bit on the paint. You guys see that? I got some on the paint. Let's just go ahead and do this half right here. Or on your glass, whatever the case may be. This stuff penetrates and stays wet looking like that for a long time. I'll tell you what, for the sake of the video, let's just go ahead and finish this up. Now, I like this product because of this. Because you can spray it and then wipe it right off of the paint. The Stoners does not hurt your paint, okay? You can't even really see it, which is a good thing as well. But all you gotta do, guys, is wipe it off, and it's almost like it cleans the paint. It doesn't smear, it doesn't run, it doesn't do any of that. It wipes straight off the paint, just like some type of spray wax would. I'm gonna go ahead, wrap this video up, and as always, thanks for watching.